Brittany, what would you do with over 50,000 pounds of pumpkins? I really hope you have some kind of idea, because all of those, over 2,000 of them are coming off of that truck right now. Most of us have learned enough common courtesy to know well enough to pick up after ourselves. But one rural Shackelford County town needs much more than simply picking up the trash. That's why lifelong resident Julie Cottle has decided to do something about it. So by now, many people are just about finished picking up school supplies and clothes to be prepared for back to school time. But is your driving prepared? Do you understand the potential cost of even an instant of inattention or recklessness? I'm in rural Stonewall County, where a manhunt continues to be in progress this afternoon. Around 9 this morning, officers attempted to stop this older model Chevy truck in Espermont, but the driver took off. It's just not that often that we hear about an accident involving a truck carrying food, but just before 9 o'clock this morning, this refrigerated semi carrying over 30,000 pounds of beef tripe rolled over on Highway 283 south of Albany in rural Shackelford County. The driver, Freddie, was out of the vehicle and talking to deputies when they arrived on scene. He wasn't injured, but he did tell me the accident occurred when he was stung on the forehead by a wasp. What about all the meat that's been in this trailer in the heat since the accident happened this morning? Well, state health officials have a well-thought-out plan designed to keep tainted meat out of the hands and stomachs of citizens. The environmental company you see behind me has a chain of custody of the food. They will be taking pictures of the offloading process of the trailer into the containers that they will carry the meat into an area landfill where it will be properly disposed of. This meat will never have the opportunity to make somebody sick. Now, it was, by the way, en route from Dodge City, Kansas to Laredo, where unfortunately there will be a little bit less menudo to go around for now. Reporting in Shackelford County, Dustin Tatro, KTAB News. Thanks, Avery. Since 1981, there's been a place where Big Country residents can get a little positive energy in their day. That's KGNZ Radio. But recently, they decided to make some major upgrades. Their faithful transmitter, affectionately named Curly, has been their voice 24/7 for over 25 years. It's time for him to retire. Take a look.
KGNZ, life-changing music, that is casting crowns.
The mission of the radio station is to unify the body of Christ, to bring the body together. We say life-changing Christian music. I mean, we really believe it.
More great music on the way here on KGNZ.
They're desperate, whether it's they've just lost a loved one through something very tragic, or their marriage is really facing some really difficult times. There's hope, there's good news, and that's what the radio station is about, sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. When the tower was falling, it dragged the transmitter across the room through the wall, and that's the same transmitter we're using today, and we're looking to retire it.
On our way to the #1 song.
How a powerful message could be conveyed, and how, again, music was a great way of reaching people with the good news of Jesus.
Even so come, Lord Jesus, come.
And KGNZ is beyond the halfway point of the cost of the new digital transmitter. They only have about $35,000 to go. You can listen to KGNZ across the Big Country at 88.1 on the FM dial and also online at kgnz.com. Live in the studio, I'm Dustin Tatro, KTAB News. Around 7 Saturday evening, a suspected electrical problem turned this 109-year-old church into an inferno. When the flames died down, all that was left was a Bible, the church bell, and a historical marker.
They've had a long and rich history, and so this is indeed a great tragedy.
That Bible was charred, but the scripture untouched.
Romans, the 28th verse, which says God works for good in all things. And we are convinced that some good will come out of this tragedy. In daylight, we see just how badly fire devastated this historic building, but the congregation is not alone. Other churches have stepped up to help. After all, it is the United Methodist Church.
We are a connectional church that We are related to each other.
Within minutes, churches scrambled to offer aid. Potosi Baptist Church offered to host the Methodist. Even music was quickly taken care of.
We had hymnals, Methodist hymnals out there this morning from St. James.
I've already been getting responses from as far away as Albuquerque of churches and pastors that are wanting to help.
We're pretty well committed to rebuilding.
And people are standing by.
They're willing to send work teams. They're willing to help in however they need to do it.
It's gratifying and encouraging to know that a large number of people are concerned.
In times like these, it's important to remember that this was just a building. Potosi United Methodist Church is the people, and they are standing strong, united. A new place of worship for them will arise from these ashes. Reporting in Potosi, Dustin Tatro, KTAB News.
Tonight's Senior Spotlight.
This track of a sax trio playing Moonlight in Vermont was recorded in 1952. But at 84, Leonard Pamplin of Abilene is still going every bit as strong as he was over 60 years ago.
Our first-year alto sax player is Leonard Pamplin. He's the guy from Burbank, California. That's where he grew up and got his training. And it turned out he's been a missionary, he's been a businessman, and in our band, he is one of the leaders. He's one of the guys, key men, that keep this band going.
Leonard, who earned a Bachelor of Music from Pepperdine, is a saxophonist of great repute in the community. But that's not all he's known for. 65 years ago, he followed in his father's footsteps and has been a barber ever since.
He's old school barber. You look at him and you could see the old time barber shop.
I've cut a lot of hair in 65 years, and I've cut them fast in the Navy. My artwork, you don't have to wait 100 years. You can get up and look in the mirror when I get done, see my artwork. I'm here, I met a swinging gig here, and I like it, so that's about it.
And many Abilene men dread the day he closes up for good.
When Leonard retires, I mean, there's not many left like that. I mean, like I say, 60, 65, 68 years he's been barbering. You just don't find them like him.
Which means someday this chair will remain empty. In Abilene, Dustin Tatro, KTAB News.
In this week's Senior Spotlight.
Lots of great fellowship, laughter, serving others, even sharing prayer requests. Of course, lots of coffee. That's all become a weekly ritual for these Abilene gentlemen. Well, maybe not quite.
I got Diet Coke. Nothing like being a curmudgeon when you're old either.
Tonight's Senior Spotlight.
Here's a little factoid for all of you. Cars have now been around for longer than most people's lifetimes. The Model T Ford debuted in 1908. Regardless of how long you've been driving, there are some things we all need to consider before we get behind the wheel, whether you're 28 or 92. Instead of letting spina bifida get him down, he's chosen to overcome those obstacles. He's active at Anson High School and is a valuable employee at the city of Anson.
And Case told the Make-A-Wish Foundation that he simply wanted to go fishing in Alaska, and the Grahams are there now.
That's right. Case and his family have truly had some once-in-a-lifetime experiences this week. I've been in contact with him and actually connected with him on the phone this afternoon. Take a look. Hey, Case.
Hi, Dustin.
So what's going on with you?
I've gone fishing 2 days ago and on a deep-sea fishing trip. And yesterday we went whitewater rafting.
Yeah, it'll take a lot of people out of business. It's going to be tough.
There's reassurance, though. Texas people, including this born and raised Texas boy, love their beef. Brisket, steak, anything. And as long as we keep doing that, the market should get back on track. But the things that start many of these destructive fires are rather commonplace and often preventable. One of the leading causes of fires that start along highways, for example, that's right, trailers, and in particular these safety chains. Imagine what could happen when one of these steel chains that's too loose hits pavement going 75 miles an hour. Those sparks can mean trouble, but there's an easier and safer way, and a visit to the full-service filling station has perks beyond simply not having to get out of the car while somebody like Jerry here fills up your tank for you.
Good afternoon, sir. Like to fill it up?
You got it. Fear of the unknown, not being at home, walking these cold, sterile halls between long, exhausting hours of awaiting test results and doctor's orders. Most of us have been there. I've walked these very halls when my mom was dying and during my time as a chaplain here. But sometimes it just takes someone with decades of experience bringing peace and helping to still troubled hearts. It's touching to see the faces light up when Charles Richardson opens the door. But for the patient whose life they save, incomprehensible gratitude. In Clyde, Dustin Tatro, KTAB News. Faith is a force that is simply beyond explanation. As you heard the chief say, it's difficult to be a first responder and not have some kind of faith. It's common knowledge also that I'm a first responder myself, a firefighter and EMT. And I'll admit that I'd shed tears while listening to hundreds of people as they turned to each other and began to utter prayers over our first responders. It's that gives us courage to look at the heroes of 9/11 and say, yes, yes, I'd do it for you. Live in the studio, I'm Dustin Tatro, KTAB News. Reporting live from the West Texas Fair and Rodeo, I'm Dustin Tatro, KTAB News. From the Fort Griffin Fandangle in Albany, I'm Dustin Tatro, KTAB News.